Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant, December 20th, and you're watching Battleground. How dare you? How dare you? You've stolen my dreams. The entire ecosystems are collapsing. How dare you? I love you. My friends, I've got some great Greta videos for you today. I want to tell you that my attention span has been slowly decreasing over time. I'm well beyond what science would call ADD, attention deficit disorder. I blame the internet. Of course, I really blame myself, but if I have to accuse others, I would blame the internet. Twitter has reduced my attention span. YouTube has reduced it further. You know, we've published about 13,000 videos over the years, and the average watch time for our video is about 3 minutes. To me, that's an eternity. Twitter used to be 140 characters. For some reason, they went to 280, too long. My new social media app of choice, I won't lie, is TikTok. Now, I know that there are rules against anyone over 25 using TikTok. It's like if you see a grown-up going to Disneyland by themselves, you say, okay, who's that guy? It's a little bit odd, am I right? What if you're over 25 and on TikTok? Well, it's because everything else is too long for me. And do you have the dog one, the snow one? It's just, by the way, it's the #2 most downloaded app in the world right now. #1 is WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook. It's a communications app. The #2 app in the world downloads on the Apple Store, the Apple App Store, and the Android Store is TikTok. And I want to show you a 4-minute clip, 4-second. Oh my God, 4 minutes. Who is that kind of time? Here's a 4-second TikTok. This shows you what I mean. Here's 4 seconds. Take a look.
When I popped off, then you go gave me just a little bit.
And that's it. And I'm spent. How awesome is that? Here, show one more time. Show one more time. I got 4 seconds.
When I popped off, then you go gave me just a little bit.
It's the music that makes it, and the super fun editing shtick. But why I really like TikTok, I mean, it's video, we're in the video business, everything's video. I don't know yet, but I think they might actually allow more rambunctiousness than the Silicon Valley social media. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, which means it's ultimately controlled by the Communist Party of China, by the dictatorship there. And we've seen bad things. PrimPal08 chips in $10 for Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I saw news the other day, you might have seen my show, where there was a Muslim girl in America doing a little makeup vid. You know, girls sometimes do that. And while she was putting on her eyelashes, she was actually in a subversive way talking about China and their internment of Uyghur Muslims. And TikTok apparently detected this, and they suspended her account. Now, after a bunch of ruckus, they put it back up. But so there is censorship on TikTok, and I don't think they allow obscene videos. There's a lot of swearing on TikTok, but I don't think they allow pornography, for example. So there are limits. I think they want to make it kid-friendly. I think they've censored the Hong Kong democracy protesters. But other than that, I think, and I'm just new to them, I've only been following TikTok for like 3 weeks, but I'm hooked. I think they allow more freedom to discuss North American political issues than Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Isn't that crazy? The other week, our reporter, Kian Bexley, went to cover the criminal trial of Jonathan Yaniv, the transgender extremist who calls himself Jessica Yaniv. Now, I should tell you that the court on their docket referred to him as Jonathan Jessica Yaniv, so they used the word Jonathan. I should tell you his own mother calls him he and him. And yet when Kian merely tweeted he or him, Kian's account was suspended for misgendering or dead naming. That's a made-up word for using someone's real name instead of their assumed name. It would be like if someone said Cassius Clay. No, delete him. You must say Muhammad Ali. I mean, you say either. But my point is, I don't think TikTok, even though it's controlled by the communist Chinese, I don't think it's as censorious as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, the American apps. Isn't that crazy? And so, I saw, for example, Instagram, which is also owned by Facebook, as is WhatsApp. Instagram has started to censor criticism of Greta. Did you know that? Instagram pages are being taken down, blocked, censored, throttled if they make fun of Greta. Did you know that? I learned that just yesterday. And that's why I want to show you a thwack of TikToks mocking Greta. Now, the Instagram that was mocking Greta, if I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was Carpe Donktum, who specializes in satirical video memes. Carpe Donktum, I forget his real name. He's in his 30s or something, so he's, well, is that a millennial? It's probably too young to be Generation X. But he's a grown-up, right? But TikTok is all about the kids. And in that way, like short attention span, authentic, goofy, like to them, SpongeBob SquarePants is an oldie. I want to show you a few TikToks about Greta because A, I think they're funny. B, it's the kids and it'll give you a lot of encouragement that the kids are okay. But C, these are the kinds of things that are starting to be censored by American social media. Now, I think I sent you 11 clips. Is that right, Justin? All right, so we got 10 of them. So you pick them at random, and they're very short. They're TikTok, so they're 15 seconds or less. Let's just start playing a few. Go ahead and load the first.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight what you want. Papa said it goes up a bit in the center.
Now, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what he was drinking. I have no idea. Now, was that kid, he was catching a woe? Is that what that is? All right, we got a really woke, hip producer here. All I know is that was pretty cool. And I don't know if that kid's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I know one thing. He'd probably say to me, okay, boomer. Even though I am not a boomer, I'm a Gen Xer. But I just like the fact that it happened. Load up the next one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight what you want. Papa said it goes up a bit in the center. I'm about to blow away. Let her take my pride to the ransom.
Now, I don't even know what that means. I think that's one of those train trucks in Australia, and I think that's just dirt. But I still thought it was pretty cool. And you know what? It's 5 seconds of your life, so why not watch it? Load up the next one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight what you want. Papa said it goes up a bit in the center. I'm about to blow away.
Now, that was fun. Do you see what I mean by, it's a video-based app. It lets you lip sync, which she did. And it gives you these super easy, for the Zoomers anyways, editing functions. Like that was the clone function. So it made it look like there was 100 of her. The screen, the words on the screen. How old was that girl? 17, 18? I don't even think she was in college. That's a high school kid making fun of Greta. Load up the next one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
And load up the next one. I got plenty of time. These are only 10
People are
seconds.
suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight for you, how I said it goes up a bit in a fender. I'm about to blow.
I don't know that song. It's slightly irritating now that I've heard it 5 times. But I think that's the whimsy. Next one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight for you, how I said it goes up a bit in a fender. I'm about to blow.
That guy looks like he's 21, and he said something about idling the truck and driving the tractor or something. I think, I don't know where that fellow's from. I'm going to say there is a 50% chance he's from a place I know called Berta. All right, load up the next one.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only.
All right, so that wasn't a Greta one, but you got to admit that's a little bit funny. I don't even know what that's about. Here, load up the next Greta one, and we're almost done with this. What I am doing, my friends, is I'm showing you a place that, unlike Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google, doesn't censor things that make fun of Greta. I'm also showing you, I think, that maybe the kids are okay and they don't all buy this BS. And maybe they're thinking that this screeching 16-year-old with Asperger's who's telling everybody we're going to die in a few years, maybe not everyone believes she's the new Joan of Arc. Next one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight for you, how I said it goes up a bit in a fender. I'm about to blow.
That sounds like a you problem. Would you admit that's funny? I don't know who that kid was, but I like his stuff. How many more do we got? 2 more? Okay, play them.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight for you, how I said it goes up a bit in a fender.
I don't care. I'm eating dogs with the gang. All right, I don't know if he says dogs literally or if he means hot dogs. I don't even care. I just think it's great. Okay, last one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
I got black and I fight for you, how I said it goes up a bit in a fender. I'm about to blow.
Waiting patiently to move to Mars. It's a boomer problem. Is that young lady there calling Greta a boomer, or her handlers a boomer, or all the Greenpeace types who are selling and pushing Greta to the world boomers? I don't know, but I like it anyways. And I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of these clips, they're not, I'm 47. I'm a 47-year-old. I'm not going to say boomer because I know what a boomer is. It's a baby boom. When the soldiers returned from the Second World War, they had a baby boom that lasted, 10, 15 years or whatever. I was not born in the aftermath of World War II. I was born in 1972, almost 30 years after the war. But look at these kids. Young, obviously. Some girls in there, obviously. Visible minorities, or I don't know, maybe they're people from other countries. I don't know where some of those kids are from. Was one of those kids from Korea? Was one of those kids from India? Or are they just new immigrants to America? I don't know. I don't care. What I know is that they're mocking Greta. And I also know, and this is the point I made several times, that you mock Greta on Instagram, you get taken down. I don't know if you can find it while I'm yapping, but I want to prove that Carpe Donktum had his Instagram post taken down for making fun of Greta. You're not allowed to make fun of Greta? Just like you're not allowed to make fun of Jonathan Yaniv. You're not even allowed to say Jonathan. It's on Instagram. If you can't find it, don't worry about it. Dame of the Dammits, what comes after a millennial? That's the Zoomers, or Generation Z. I know my friend Moses Neimer likes to say Zoomers are cool boomers. He's got a magazine, and he's got this whole thing called Zoomer Media. I think that the word Zoomer has been appropriated by Generation Z. So that's that. Bartholomew, wonderful point, Ezra. Kids are seeing through the nonsense. Well, some of them are. I think kids are, especially these days, are natural skeptics. And I find it unusual or fun that they're doing it on TikTok, a Chinese app. If you can't find it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, do you see why I like TikTok? Because first of all, it's funny. Can you play that dog one more time? And I
When I popped off, then you go gave me just a little bit.
yeah, I've watched that 10 times, and I like the fact that they have. I mean, it's video, obviously, but they have these little. What's the phrase? Earworm, like a little. Not even a whole song. Who's got the time to listen to a whole song? Yuck. But like 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 seconds. That's really funny. Like it's really audio memes. And this is very. I recommend TikTok for its content. However, I must give you the proviso that they're probably spying on you. They're probably spying on you because everything in China spies on you. But can you call up the terms of service for Instagram? Just go on Instagram and click on the terms of service. So yeah, of course TikTok is spying on you. But what do you think Instagram is doing? Well, no need to speculate. No need for conspiracy theories. Yeah, now can you go down to... can you actually use the Command F to find the word license, L-I-C-E-N? Yeah. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. We do not, you're on the Instagram? Yeah, so this is the Instagram. This is Instagram, this is not TikTok. Scroll up for 1 second to prove to people you're on Instagram. Scroll all the way up. You see that? Instagram terms of use. Okay, now go back to where you were. Thank you, Justin. Okay, we do not claim ownership of your content, but you grant us a license to use it. Nothing's changing about your rights in your content. We do not claim ownership of your content that you post. Instead, when you share, post, or upload content that is covered by intellectual property rights, like photos or videos, on or in connection with our service, you hereby, and highlight this part, you hereby grant to us a non-exclusive, royalty-free, transferable, sub-licensable, yeah, just highlight that part, to host, use, distribute, modify, run, copy, publicly to perform or display, translate, and create derivative works of your content. So just hold that there. When you upload a photo or a video to Instagram, you are giving Instagram, well, it just says right there, royalty-free, transferable, sub-licensable, worldwide license to use your stuff, to modify your stuff. Royalty-free means they don't have to pay you. Transferable means they can sell it to someone else. Sub-licensable means they can pass it on to any other company worldwide. Well, does that include to Russia, China? I don't know. Facebook will sell anything. Distribute, modify, copy, publicly perform. So let's say you have a wicked hot track. Don't give it to Instagram. You've just given away all your, let's say you're an up-and-coming musician. Are you crazy enough to put your hot track on Instagram? You've just given them a free, royalty-free, right to modify it and perform it around the world. Pretty awesome. So yeah, any photo app, any content app at all, never forget you are the product, my friend. You're what's for sale. Facebook says they'll never charge you. Why would they charge you? You're the thing they're selling. You're the person who's doing all the writing, all the photographing, all the communicating. So yeah, TikTok. Maybe they're worse than Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google, Instagram, Snapchat, but it would be tough for me to figure out a way that they're worse. Give me that dog one more time. Give me that dog. Global colding. I love it.
When I popped off, then you go gave me just a little bit.
Nice. That is nice. Well, thank you for letting me scratch my itch on TikTok and show you the perfect social media app for people with attention spans of 15 seconds and shorter. But there was a larger point there, besides just sharing with you some of my favorite vids. Speaking of vids, I want to show you a vid last night by the man who could be the next president of the United States. Polls right now show that Donald Trump would beat Joe Biden, beat him pretty handily. But polls show that Joe Biden is the #1 contender for the Democrat. And I don't know if you know this, but last night the Democrats had a debate amongst several of their presidential candidates, the nominees. And Joe, his campaign motto is no malarkey. Well, I think there was a little bit of malarkey. He said he calls up people every week, him and his wife, like there's some sort of kids helpline, and there's one kid. Well, here, let me just let him explain.
With me, a little kid who says, I can't talk. What do I do? I have scores of these young women and men.
Do you think that was edited? Do you think we rigged that? Do you think we threw that through some fancy TikTok editing machine? We did not. I swear to you on a stack of Bibles, we did not. Joe Biden. So I really help these kids who have problems in their lives. I really care about them. You know, they have a tough time. I would really never want to embarrass them. Especially that one kid who says, I really love these kids. I would never want to embarrass them. I guarantee you, especially the guy who goes, Play that clip one more time.
With me, a little kid who says, I can't talk. What do I do? I have scores of these young women and men.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I'm going to ask you for these other clips, but if you have a moment when I'm not asking for things, can you get the the exponential? Oh my God, Joe Biden! Like when you're that goofy, maybe the normal criticisms don't work. Like there's something about just saying the hell with it all. I'm just going to go without a net. I'm just going to let it all out there. Because people who say, excuse me, were you making fun of someone with a stutter? You just say, like if you're so brazen about it, like the kind of snippy criticism that dominates Ottawa, Washington, London, it only works when the person you're snippily criticizing, oh my God, I didn't say that just perfectly. I think I said one word a little bit wrong. I hope they don't pick it apart. And then your little nitpicker say, he made fun of the kid stuttering. But if you just say, I'm owning it. I'm going to make fun of this stuttering kid. Then the snippy, excuse me, I think he made fun. Yeah, we all saw that he made fun. And we saw he don't care. you're gonna need a bigger elephant gun to take down a guy than, like, in a way that's Trump's magic. Is he just says what everybody else is thinking and he don't care. If you got exponential, let's roll it. If not, there's one other Biden comment from last night. As you may know, the United States is now a net exporter of energy, net exporter of oil, which is shocking. I should tell you that just as recently as 10 years ago, America imported half of its oil. Now it's an exporter, net exporter. And that's largely because of fracking. Fracking is just a way to get oil out of shale rock. You know, shale is like, it's like clay. It's like a sponge with tiny, teeny tiny little pores in it. And those pores can have gas or oil in it. So how are you going to get it? It's like an apple. You stick a straw in an apple. You know there's a lot of juice in an apple, right? But you stick a straw in an apple, you're not going to get any juice out of it. But if you stick a straw in the apple and you manage to fracture all those tiny little pores, you could squeeze the juice out. That's what fracking does. It using high pressure water to fracture tiny little pockets in the shale to release the oil or the gas that then comes up to the surface. That fracking revolution, I didn't explain it very well, is what has absolutely revolutionized oil and gas in America. And places where they knew they had this sort of oil in the shale, now they can pump it out. So fracking, natural gas especially, but oil too, in the Bakken, in the Permian Basin, these are geological names. Hundreds of thousands of new jobs, tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in wealth. And if you care about American political independence, well, now you're not at the mercy of OPEC anymore, right? So one of the hosts last night at the debate asked Joe Biden, would you actually shut down these jobs, these thousands or hundreds of thousands of jobs, just to meet some UN target? Here, let me show you the question and the answer.
Lately, Vice President Biden, I'd like to ask you, 3 consecutive American presidents have enjoyed stints of explosive economic growth due to a boom in oil and natural gas production. As president, would you be willing to sacrifice some of that growth, even knowing potentially that it could displace thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of blue-collar workers in the interest of transitioning to that greener economy?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes, because the opportunity.
The answer is yes. Yes, he would sacrifice. You heard the question. It was actually a pretty good question. Would you sacrifice hundreds of thousands of jobs? Oh, yeah, the answer is yes. Funny, because his own son was, I don't know if they frack their oil and gas in Ukraine, but his son was making about $1 million a year working for Ukraine oil and gas company. Do you think his son has that kind of expertise, like world-class expertise? Oh, I won't get into that right now. But yeah, Joe Biden, he cares more about Ukrainian oil and gas companies than about American ones. I think that there's something exponentially wrong with that. But I think, is it exponential or exponential? How do you say that word? Let's ask Joe himself.
Break for a racehorse. Why in God's name couldn't we provide a $8,000 tax credit for everybody who has child care costs? It would put 720 million women back in the workforce. It would increase the GDP, to sound like a wonk here, by about 0.8%. It would grow the economy. Friend, and she's a friend. She's been my friend in and out of public life. I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts.
We choose truth over facts.
That's the wrong clip. I mean, I know it's buried in there. You could probably find it on Twitter pretty quick. I know I tweeted it. Just search exponential and click the video tab. That was a series of gaps. There were some good ones there, but I want you to hear Joe Biden say exponential. He just can't get enough of that word. You know, here, take a listen.
Obama-level turnouts in 2020 as a white politician?
I've run in a state that has the 8th largest black population in the country. I have never, when I've run an off year or on year, gotten any fewer votes than on an on year, and more than any person ever has in Delaware, black or white. What's up? I come from the community. They know my heart. They know me. And I think that's why so many are supporting me. I think the black community is no different than any other community in the sense that they are being hurt badly. They're being hurt badly. And they want to know someone, first of all, are they telling them the truth? Are they laying out straight exactly what they're going to do? No double talk. What are you?
All right, Justin, I just emailed you the clip. We'll put it on when we get it. It's just, listen, if you started showing every Joe Biden gaffe clip, you would be here all day. I think those were compilation clips you found there. But okay.
African American.
Take a look. We got one that's just I just want to show it to you because I'm in this deep on exponential. I got to show you.
Exponentially. 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 Exponentially better. Exponentially. 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 Exponential.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Oh, that clip from the Princess Bride at the end there. Exponentially. Jay Barrett, looking forward to a new year of great Rebel content. I'm a 2-year subscriber in the USA. We care about our conservative, common sense Canadian friends. Well, that's pretty friendly. Thanks very much. Hopefully, we'll continue to grow exponentially in the United States. In fact, we got big plans for you. We covered the Canadian election really hard. We covered the Alberta election, and I think 2020 there's room for us to get out there and cover it. I think we're going to do it. All right, I'm going to lay off of Joe Biden now. Exponentially. You know, you say a word wrong enough sometimes, and you can't ever switch back. I got a word like that. I say diminution. That's not a word. I think it's diminution. I can't even do it. There's some words I've been saying wrong for because you read it maybe, and then you say it wrong, and no one corrects you. Can you grab the Etobicoke thing? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yesterday, some Netflix show got Etobicoke wrong. Just grab the super quick versions on Twitter. Let me know if do you know what I'm talking about? So there's this suburb of Toronto, it's a city, called Etobicoke. Etobicoke. I don't know, is that like a native Indian word or something? But the thing is, it's spelled Etobicoke. You don't say the K at the end. Who knew? You wouldn't know if you're not from the Toronto area. I mean, Etobicoke is not world famous. So Netflix does this whole show, and I guess they just read the word Etobicoke, and they didn't know how to say it, and they never checked with anyone. So take a look at this. Okay, we'll take another crack at that. It's like
was talking about how the paparazzi was harassing him. They were trying to take his picture outside his condo in Etobicoke, Canada. Etobicoke, that's interesting. Where is that? Etobicoke.
Oh, did you cut it off too early there? Because it was just getting fun. He was typing it in, and he just kept saying it again and again. All right, don't worry about it. It's not that important. But here's this expert saying, Etobicoke. Etobicoke, that sounds really interesting. Let's look up Etobicoke. And it's not that important, my friends. I'm just trying to say that sometimes you get a word stuck in your head wrong, and you just can't fix it because it's like imprinted on your brain. That's how it is. And when you're vice president, you have communications directors, you have advisors, you have personal assistants, you have people who could probably say, Joe, it's exponential, not exponential. And maybe you could have like a speech therapist come in. Practice exponential. It's from the word exponent. Exponent. Exponential. And if you can't pick it up, maybe you say, hey, Joe, just can we give you another word that's just as cool as exponential? Like super or super big. But you're gonna try and tell Joe not to make gaffes like that. All right, one more clip from last night's debates. It's not as goofy. In fact, it's like a guy who says exponential and a guy who makes fun of a stuttering kid. That's really goofy, but I don't regard it as deeply malicious. The funny thing about Joe Biden is that he was with Barack Obama for 8 years as his vice president. I noticed that Barack Obama has not endorsed Joe Biden. Barack Obama endorsed blackface Justin Trudeau. But Barack Obama won't even endorse the vice president who served him for 8 years. Isn't that something? Gustavius II says, Sweden needs reporters like you, Ezra. Keep up the good work. Well, maybe we'll send a reporter to Sweden. I mean, I've been there myself. I don't know if you know that, but I've been to Malmo and I've been to Stockholm and I've done some work in Sweden, and maybe it's time for us to go again. Thank you for the invitation. Here's Amy. Okay, is it Klobuchar? Maybe I should ask Joe Biden how to say the last name of Senator Amy. Is it Klobuchar? It's Klobuchar. I don't know, but I don't want to hear Joe Biden try and say it. Here she is speaking for herself. Take a listen.
The United States is expected to be majority non-white within a generation. What do you say to white Americans who are uncomfortable with the idea of becoming a racial minority, even if you don't share their concerns?
I say this is America. You're looking at it. And we are not going to be able to succeed in the world if we do not invite everyone to be part of our economy. Our Constitution says that we strive for a more perfect union. Well, that's what we are doing right now. And to me, that means, one, that everyone can vote, and that includes our communities of color.
There's a lot of stuff in there. Everyone can vote, including our communities of color. Well, luckily, that's been the way it's been for many decades in America. I acknowledge that America had some Jim Crow laws, and of course, the American South, more than a century ago, had slavery. But it is not news, and nor is it a Democrat campaign platform that communities of color can vote. It was actually a Republican named Abraham Lincoln who undid slavery. But she said something earlier in her little ramble there, that we have to invite everyone, invite the world. I don't think that's what America is about. I think that's scary. But the Dems are way, way, way out there. All right, let's stop talking about the debate. I want to show you one more little vid from Twitter. And it was about Trump and the meaning of impeachment. I think that a lot of low information voters think that to impeach a president means you kick him out of the White House and he's not president anymore. They don't realize that impeach just is a fancy way of saying condemn or censure or accuse. Now the Senate can have a vote on whether or not to convict and suspend and punish. The Senate can actually throw out a president. That ain't happening. But I think a lot of Americans, especially on the low information left, think that Trump might even be gone now. But look at this funny little vid I saw on Twitter today.
Hey Siri, who is the president of the United States?
Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
That's a little TikTok video, isn't it? Well, that was actually from Twitter. I wonder if that was also on TikTok. The reason I say that is it's probably going to be banned before long from Twitter. All right, well, we've spent half an hour, 40 minutes talking about American things and also TikTok. Can we show that dog just one more time? And
when I popped off, then your girl gave me just a little bit of
are some great animal videos. And I don't want to be that boomer who's always sending you animal vids. But if you like animal vids, you got to get yourself onto TikTok. There's some really good ones. And I'm not going to try and find, there's this funny one of all the chickens running. Get yourself on TikTok, friends. It may be the only political platform where you can say pro-Trumpy things. Did I send you the one of all the chickens running down the, I'll send that to you. Extremely important that I show you this TikTok vid. But getting serious for a second, I just love that dog vid. Let me show you a video that I found helpful for figuring out the Canadian question: who will succeed the hapless, hopeless, spineless, conservative failure, Andrew Scheer, as the next leader of the Conservative Party of Canada? For my foreign friends, Justin Trudeau was vulnerable. He had multiple scandals and fiascos of an ethical nature. He had his blackface videos and photos come to light. He was truly vulnerable, and he snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. And the reason for that, in my view, is because of a very tepid, uncourageous, Mitt Romney-like conservative leader named Andrew Scheer. So who will succeed Andrew Scheer? Well, I like the cut of the jib of this guy, an old friend of mine named Pierre Poilievre. What do you think?
It's good. Someone else, that's not my question, so this isn't a free mic. That's not my question.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like the answer, but I'm going to give the answer anyway. Well, I'm afraid.
Vous répétez tous en anglais, vous répétez tout en anglais et en français depuis le début. Alors on vous pose la question, quelles sont vos intentions pour la course à la direction?
You know, I don't even get heckled by the Liberals this badly on the floor of the House of Commons. But the reality is that we have taken a decision. Our plan is to lower taxes to reward work and investment, to clear away regulatory red tape so our businesses can create more jobs and generate more economic activity, and a real plan to phase out the deficit. You might not like those policies, but they are our policies. And we are going to stand up and fight for those policies, whether the Liberal establishment and the Liberal cabal likes it or not.
I like that because it's a gentle pushback against the media party, enough to say, you're not the boss of me, but not so harsh that he utterly defames them and hurts their feelings in a way they won't talk to him again. I've got about a bunch of clips like that of Pierre Poilievre that I could show you. I won't do that right now. He gave a masterful press conference the other day. He's very good with conservative talking points. He knows his stuff. He's very well briefed. He's very good at messaging. He phrases them all so well. But more important than his substantive and rhetorical strength is that he challenges the premise of media questions, he identifies their bias and their double standards, and he notes it. He doesn't brutalize them as Trump sometimes does, but he doesn't play along with it submissively either. I was just looking at a video from the campaign the other day for another project I was working on, and Andrew Scheer, the jellyfish conservative who got crushed in the last election. Oh, he won the popular vote. Yeah, that don't count. He went to have a sit-down, a one-on-one sit-down with a CBC journalist named Rosemary Barton in the same week that they were suing, that Rosemary Barton was personally filing a lawsuit against the Conservative Party on some nuisance copyright action. Imagine your lack of self-respect. Someone says, I am personally suing you. It's a bogus suit, it's a nuisance suit, it's a harassment suit, it's a slap suit, strategic lawsuit against public participation. You take that blow, and then you sit down and give them an exclusive interview with you? Why would anyone respect you if you don't respect yourself? Your enemies will not respect you, but your friends won't either. Very bizarre. I saw another super chat go by. I think it was... here we go. Gustavius II, come to northern Sweden, to the city Kiruna. I will give you a guided tour and buy you some mead. That's a very friendly invitation. And I think I missed one more. I'll just go up to it and see if I can find it. There we go. Chaz1422, leftist liberalism has become an Orwellian irony. The censorship wave is sort of a ministry of free expression managed by social scientists and diversity PhDs. You're right. Wouldn't it be weird if we actually had more freedom of speech through a company dominated by communist China than from Silicon Valley directly? I'm quite worried about China and its role in surveillance and what they call social credit, where they track all your activities, not just your crimes. That's the least of it, but your attitudes, your views, what you say in political forums, if you jaywalk, if you chew gum, like all these minor things that were once the realm of mere politeness or custom are now being governmentalized and policified. Makes me worried. Let's see, it's 12:45. I think it's time for a chicken video from TikTok. Do we get them chicken vid, or do you need a little bit of time to upload that one? We're going to get a chicken vid for you and another dog video. What do you think of this one? What is that? What's that all about? What are those chickens? What are they doing? I don't know. It was a 4-second video. Don't worry about it. All right, you don't like chickens? How about you like dogs? Should we go out for a little? Who wants to go for a little drive? I don't know.
I came for the
That's how I picture myself in 15 years when I'm retired. The stress level will come down so much, my gray hair will return jet black. I'll have the biggest smile with the biggest teeth, and me and my crew just patrolling, on patrol. What's up? Let's show that one more time. Look at that, look at the smile. Who's got the bigger smile? Him or the dogs?
I came for the
on patrol. They see me rolling, they're hating. He riding dirty. He riding dirty. I see another tweet. Proud Boys Calgary, you've seen Nenchi's comments, rural Albertans resurfaced yesterday. Syrians are more intelligent and educated than rural Albertans, so it's easier to help them. You know, I saw a report of that. Funny enough, I've been trying to verify that. If you can email me the clip, I was trying to poke around on QR77 to find that, and I just ran out of time. If you can help me, just send that email to me at EzraRebelNews.com. I'd be grateful. Primpal08, want a free speech platform? Get on Gab. I met the president of Gab once, and this was a couple years ago now, and he said at the time, and maybe the number's different now, that there were 300,000 users on Gab. Maybe it's bigger now, maybe it's 1 million, I don't know. Maybe it's 10 million. But 300,000 users, well, I got 200,000 followers. There are 300 million monthly active users on Twitter, including every opinion leader in the world, every journalist, every politician. So Gab might be a technologically superior platform, I don't know. It may be a more free platform, I'm sure it is. But if I'm the only guy on there, now I'm not the only guy, at the time he had 300,000 people. It's not, I mean, the whole point of social media is that other people are on there. You may have a better video platform than YouTube, but YouTube has what, 2 billion visitors a day? Am I right on that? If you got an awesome platform, but you only have 2 million users a day or 2,000 users a day, people want to be on the system where everyone else is. Facebook has, what, 1-2 billion people? I don't know. The whole strength of Facebook is that everyone else is on there. You can look up your old high school friends. You can look someone up, find your own family on it. If you're the only one on a network, what's the point? How are we doing for time? 12:49. I see a tweet, sorry, not a tweet, a super chat from David Anderson. Ezra, did you know that Warren Kinsella tweeted this morning that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's socks could win over Polyev for 100 years? Well, I didn't know that Kinsella said that. I don't really follow him. The last I heard from him is that he was in a bit of a pickle for claiming that everybody was racist, but then it turned out he was paid to say that. And so I don't know if this comment by Kinsella is something that he like sold. Like, did he say, I'll say this about Pierre Polyev for $100? Like, I don't know if that's his real opinion or if he just sort of rented that out. Because he's for rent, according to his own admission. He had this bizarre comment the other day. He said, I have called people racist when they weren't. He said he called Stockwell Day a racist when he wasn't, for example. That's an insane admission to make from a defamation point of view, but it's, I think, even worse of an admission to make if you ever want anyone to trust you again on I mean, Kinsella has held himself out as some sort of authority on racism, and it turns out that was just a trick to rent out. Oh, I see someone is responding. Primpel 08, Gab is over 1 million now. There was a time when YouTube was at 1 million. All right, fair enough. But I want people to read my stuff now. Maybe I will get a Gab account. There's a lot of other alternatives. There's Parler or something, apparently. How many apps can I be on? Here's what I know about TikTok. They got 500 million people NOW. Mark Friesen, as the problem with the Conservative Party is inside the party. They are going to the left because they've committed to the UN Sustainable Development Agenda. It could be, but I think there's a lot of other problems besides that, and I think one of the problems they're going to have to solve immediately is how they choose a leader, the process. Because I don't think that Andrew Scheer actually won. I think he just gamed the rules, or rather his campaign manager, my old friend Hamish Marshall, gamed the rules. So it's like a puzzle. Can you figure who can figure out the puzzle? That's different than who's the best person. All right. 12:52. We got one more story, and it's a story of a selfie. And it's our young reporter from Calgary, Cian Bexty. And he was just on the streets of his city, prowling for stories. And he came upon an old lady, and he posed for a photo, and lo and behold, I don't know who asked whom for the selfie. Did she ask him or did he ask her? They're both sort of famous. And he tweeted it, "Great to catch up with my good friend Rachel Notley." And then tears of joy. Tears of joy. And look at her. Look at that smile. That's not fake. That is a deep happiness. There's different kinds of happiness. There's like laughing and humor. There's a satisfaction there. There's a joy. Look at the squinty eye smile. That's a joy that says, I'm home, you know? She is the former Premier of Alberta, a hardcore socialist named Rachel Notley. He, the future of news, grassroots guerrilla journalist, himself and a camera, scouring the city, even at night, for news. And oh, I gotta tell you, this photo caused a ruckus. A ruckus. It was like all them chickens. Show them chickens. That photo was tweeted. And all the New Democrats said, what? This is a forbidden love. It's like Romeo and Juliet, those houses, the Capulets and the Mondegos. Rachel, don't you know? First of all, he's too young for you. You know? Second of all, you're not supposed to be friends with him. Her own party. It was like the chickens. It was like the chickens. That's what it was like. Oh, the rage that poured out over. I thought it was beautiful. I think that you should be able to have friendships with people across the aisle. You know, I mean, especially for conservatives, if you don't have some liberal friends, you're probably going to be lonely, because I think the dominant politics in the pop culture are liberal. I think it's okay to have some liberal friends. You're gonna cut yourself off from interesting. Politics don't have to be a veto over everything. But wow, did Rachel Notley ever get it from her own friends? They were outraged at her. Look, the heart loves who it's going to love. What are you going to say? No, I don't feel that way. Put that picture up. Look at the love there. Look at those. That she smiles with her eyes. Will you give Rachel credit? Click the picture to blow it up bigger. Give me a zoom in on the picture if you can. Look at that. She is smiling with her eyes. And Kian, with his piercing eyes, goes straight to your soul. Look at those two. If I didn't know better, I'd say Rachel got herself a new boy toy. I'm kidding. It's just platonic. I was just joking. But that is the kind of picture that two lovers out for a Christmas stroll would show. That's the kind of picture that you take if you want to convince the immigration minister that it is not an arranged marriage where you bought yourself a boy toy from Sweden and you're just trying to fill in a backstory. Here's us at the Christmas market. I know it looks like it's more. I promise you it was just a platonic friendship. I promise you, I'm not casting aspersions. I know Rachel Notley is married, and there was nothing intimate about this other than the intimacy of friendship. So please don't take this to, I'm just saying it looks like the kind of warmth and personal connection that two lovers would have. I'm not saying they are lovers. Let me be crystal clear. I'm not being ironic. I'm not being jokey or sarcastic. They're just friends. They're just friends. But the picture, there was something so real about it. That's what set off the left. They raged at her. Why do they always pick on the woman? Why didn't they pick on Kian? I don't know who asked whom for a selfie. Maybe Kian asked her for a selfie. Maybe that's why they were picking on her for agreeing to it. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe she asked him for a selfie, and that's why they're super mad at her. You should know better. You shouldn't be hanging around a man like him. I don't know, but there's a lot to unpack there psychologically. And I don't know, just that, those smiling with your eyes. You can't fake that. You can't fake that. And I just think it's really mean. Including one of her ex-staffers, Jeremy Nolay, I think is his name, was like furious. Why don't you let Grandma go out and have a good time? Like, why are you hating? They see me rolling. It's like when that lad was out with the pups. They hating. Give me them doggies one more time. The ones on the car. Like, you see that, and there's two reactions, three reactions. One is, look at the dogs having a great time. The other is, how dare you? How dare you? What's your reaction to that? Look at that smile. Some guy's going to look at that and say, that's amazing, I love it. And some guy's going to react with anger to that. And there were a few people who made jokes about, I hope those puppies aren't going to, that's not lunch. I think it says more about you. It's like a Rorschach test, you know, those psychological ink blot tests. Put up the two friends again. Put up Rachel Notley and Kian Bexley. I think it says a lot more about the people. This is a wholesome picture, Kian and Rachel Notley. I wasn't really joking about an intimate relationship. I was saying that's how beatific her smile is. I'm not saying they have a romantic relationship. She's married, and I'm sure she's loyal. And this was just friends on the street posing for a Christmas selfie. Look at those smiling eyes. I tell you, you find yourself a woman who smiles like that at you, you hold on, people. You hold on. You find someone who looks at you the way Rachel Notley looks at young Kian Bexley. There may be 2 generations between them. You got a Zoomer there, and you got a Boomer. And if that Zoomer and that Boomer can have a meeting in the minds, and I'm guessing there's a little bit of a hug going on. I can't see where their hands are. Like it's obviously an above the waist hug. If the Boomers and Zoomers can get together in peace like that, surely the rest of us can learn a little something. This is a beautiful moment. I'm going to change that. I'm going to make that my cell phone lock screen. So every time I reach for my cell phone, what time is it? Every time I reach for my phone to make a mean tweet, I look at that and say, whoa, whoa, do you have to be mean? The other side has feelings too. Look at that face. Look at Rachel Notley. That's LUV, people. It's not even LOVE. That's LUV. That's even LURV. That's LURV. There's one more super chat. Truth on the wind. Fukushima meltdowns is causing the climate change, not CO2 alert. Pacific Ocean is lost. Google whales washing up and scroll the images. Google whales washing up and scroll the images. Thousands dead. Well, that's a bit of a downer. I was just ending on a really warm, happy place note there. But yeah, I mean, listen, I will Google that because you got my curiosity. But I'd much rather end on a note about love. And if in this tough world of global cooling, when people are hard to each other and harsh, and everywhere you look there's some Swedish Asperger's kids saying, how dare you? In that world, just to find a moment, give me the picture again of the two of them, just a moment where we can just put down arms and put down hard words and just love each other, brother and sister, or in this case, great-grandma and great-grandson, whatever it is. That's something we got to hold on to. Hold on to that, people. And on that note, until next time, on behalf of all of us here at Rebel World Headquarters, goodbye, and keep looking for love.